The real fight is you versus you. You might feel like the environment is the problem. You might feel like the circumstance is the problem. But in reality, it's you versus you. For every action, there is a reaction. So, subsequently, for every failure to act, there's a failure of reaction. So, if you don't do something, nothing happens. If you don't change yourself, nothing changes. We could try to change the world, but we can't change the world unless we change ourselves. We have to start doing more self analysis. We have to start studying ourselves. What are my strengths? What are my weaknesses? What can I improve on? What can I learn to be better? Yeah, we have to do self evaluation at least once a week, so we could figure out what our limitations are. Because if we know our limitations, we have no limitations. I'm gonna say it again. If you know your limitations, you have no limitations. I'm gonna say it one more time. If you know your limitations, you have no limitations. Let me break it down. If you know that you're not good at organizing things, you're not very well versed as a organizational person. If you're conscientious of that fact, that means you can proactively look for others who are very organized, or you can study, you can practice better organizational skills, because you are cognizant of the fact that you are not good at being organized. You know that there is a problem, therefore, you can look for solutions. You have to know that there is a problem in order for you to solve it. I think they say this in therapy, or one of those, uh, uh, you know uh, addiction classes. Admittance is the first step. See, so once you acknowledge what issue you're having, now you can look for solutions. Okay. So that's it. So yeah, that's we need to start there, is the self analysis. So once you figure out what your weaknesses are and you admit to them, you can proactively work on strengthening them. And then you also have to ask yourself, what are my strengths? And then once you figure out what your strengths are, figure out how to get stronger at your strengths. Maximize your strengths. See, because when you're already good at something naturally, and then you apply practice and effort and strategy to what you're naturally good at, now you can become an expert. You see what I'm saying? Yes, you want to work on your weaknesses. Everybody tells you to work on your weaknesses, but nobody tells you to work on your strengths. Because when you work on your strengths, now you can become an expert. You could be a leader in that field. Now you could be the top of the class of whatever that is, because you already are starting here. But now if you put a little practice on it, you could get here. And then you put a little strategy on it, and you could get here. Now you're at the top of your field. Understand what I'm saying? So it's important to study both your weaknesses and your strengths. And then after that, figure out how you're going to build your team. But as I said before, if you know you're not a very organized person, You probably need to go find you some people that are very organized, and go hang around them, or put them in charge of certain things because you know that they're good at that. You dig what I'm saying? Or if you're a person who lacks discipline, go find you some people who are super duper disciplined and go hang around them. Or give them an opportunity. Give them a position in your project. Go get around them. It all starts with knowing yourself. That's the number one thing. You have to understand who you are. I see so many people on a daily basis who really don't know who they are, and that's why they're so anxious. That's why they have so much anxiety. That's why they're so depressed, because sorry. That's why they're struggling, because they don't know who they are. And if you don't know who you are, somebody else is going to tell you who you are, and then they're going to program you to live that lifestyle. And now you're living a lifestyle that is not conducive to who you are. Now you're wondering why, you hate your life. Now you're wondering why you're just so upset all the time. Now you're wondering why, you're stressed out, because you're not living your life. You're living the life that somebody programmed you to live. And, this life thing is very, very short. As you get older, you see how fast the years go by. So, again, it's you versus you. You need to understand you. You need to sit down and take some time and get away from your friends, get away from your family, get away from everybody, so that you don't have all this noise around you. You just need to be by yourself so that you can figure out what's important to you, what you like, what you don't like, what makes you tick, what makes you happy. You understand? It's like, there's certain people that get into relationships, they're in a relationship for a long time, and then once that relationship ends, they jump into another one, when really they should have just stayed single for a little while and figured out who they are. Sometimes you need that space. You can't constantly distract yourself with other things when you're trying to work on you. And that's the reason why a lot of relationships ain't gonna work, because you don't even know who you is. You have to know who you are. The focus now has to become inner, not outer. Rather than seeking, validation or seeking things from the outer world, you have to look in the mirror, because happiness comes from within. No matter what you buy, or no matter what people you're around, if you are not happy within, you will not be happy at all. It doesn't matter. So, like I said, it is you versus you. It's the environment. Is the environment, the circumstance, the situation. All those things are factors, but remember, it's you versus you. Take some time to do some self-analysis. Survey yourself. Question yourself. Do your research on yourself. Do your homework on yourself. Figure out what you like, what makes you happy. And once you spend enough time with yourself, work on yourself. It's you versus you.